can I take my experience of nearly 10 years of teaching tennis and use that experience to master the kick serve? Now, if you don't know already, my name is James Ludlow and I'm an instructor here with Online Tennis Instruction. And I've spent the last 10 years working on my own game, but also then using that experience to help other players all around the world in places like Costa Rica, the United States, Dominica, and the list goes on. And I've tried to use that experience to help other players maximize their own potential. And within that time frame, I've had the privilege of working with some of the best instructors in the industry regarding technique. And today I want to put myself back through the paces and see if I can use that experience to help me with this kick serve project. Now, the kick serve has never really been my strength and it's something I've never really focused on. I focused on all the other strokes, when I first started playing, and I mastered the technique on those, but I always avoided the kick serve. So today I'm really going to dive into the kick serve progressions, and I'm going to show you a full lesson of which we would use with another player, but I'm the student today. I'm going to be putting myself back through the paces. Now, for today's lesson, all I've got is a bucket of balls, as you can see, and also a tripod with my iPad on it. Now, you don't need the iPad, you can use your phone, but this is very, very important because I'm going to be using that to film myself to see exactly what I'm doing, so I know that the techniques I'm reinforcing are correct. Okay? So before we now jump into this lesson, what I want to do, which I always try to do, is give you a full, complete picture. And what we're going to do now is dive into a comparison that shows you the key differences for the kick serve and what you want to try to achieve when you're going for that kick. Okay, so we're just going to take a look at the key differences between the first serve, which would be more of a flat serve or slice serve, to a kick serve, second serve, okay? And we'll watch the first serve on the left in regular speed first. Okay, and now we'll watch the right. Okay, and on the right, this is not a full speed kick serve right now. This is just at a basic progression level, but it still gives you the idea of the swing path. But let's take a look at the left first, and what you're going to see is I want to compare the swing angle up to contact, the first thing. And what you're going to see on a flat serve, the swing angle is moving on a straight line, essentially, up to contact. Okay, edge of the racket is leading, and then I'm making contact with the ball more on a straight line basis. For the kick serve, the key difference you're going to see is the swing is moving more left to right around contact. Okay, and the reason for that is it's allowing you to move the racket low to high in this fashion around contact, which is going to give you that spin. Okay, so watch this. I'll show you one more time. The left, you can see the swing angle is really moving up on a straight line, whereas on the right, you can visibly see here when I do swing up to contact from this point, the racket is moving more left to right around contact, as you can see. Now, the next thing I want to compare is the contact position. Look at contact here in terms of where the ball toss is related. On the left, for a flat serve, the contact is roughly in line with my right hip and shoulder. Whereas on the kick serve, the ball toss is a little bit further over to my left, slightly above the head. This will allow me to move the racket more low to high, okay, around contact, which again aids us in getting that kick effect on the ball. So ball toss a little bit further to the left. The next key thing you see at contact, look at the body position. My body position on the kick serve is much more sideways, okay, and it stays more sideways as I go through. The reason being, the more sideways I can keep my body around contact, the more I have to increase the upward angle of the swing. Because if you look here on the left, my body opens up more for the flat serve. And when I say open up, take it with a pinch of salt. It's not that I'm over-rotating, it's just rotating more for a flat serve. And you can see how this is also going to impact my follow-through. Look here on the left side for the flat serve, it's going more into the court to the right side. Whereas on the kick serve, because I'm staying sideways, the swing and follow-through goes out along the baseline. Okay, and this obviously is an exaggerated effort here to get the kick serve, but this will just give you the key visual differences between the first serve and the slice serve to what would be the kick serve. And you can see the differences are very minimal, but now with that understanding, we can go into this lesson and really understand what we're trying to work on. Before we dive into this kick serve lesson, I just want to say that we do currently have a $10 trial offer on right now that will give you access to all of our content and also a free video analysis from a certified instructor. So if you're interested, check out the link below the video. So there we just had a look at the key differences for the kick serve compared to the first and slice serve. So we know exactly what the main keys are for us now. So what I'm going to start to do, I'm going to go inside the court. Okay, that's the first step for me. I'm going to start inside, put the bucket of balls next to me, and I'm just going to start with some shadow swings from an isolated position. And the first objective of the first drill or progression is to give me the feeling of what the swing is doing around contact. Okay, and what that means is, I'm not going to use a ball right now, I'm just going to start from my racket drop here. So I'm isolating it. My body is completely sideways, my feet are close together, and all I'm now going to do is swing from left to right along the baseline. And I'm feeling that my swing is really increasing the upward angle of the swing around contact. I'm going left to right, out along the baseline. Now, one of the keys for this, which I have to remember, is keeping my body sideways, because the kick serve, we obviously want to increase the upward angle of the swing. And to do that, we have to keep that body sideways. I'm really just feeling that I'm staying sideways and I'm going out along the baseline. What you can do is also do some shadow swings of a first serve, just so you feel the difference, that first serve it comes more in a straight line and into the court. Kick serve, it goes up along the baseline, just like this. I'll do a few more. Just trying to feel how that arm is moving. Okay, now what I'm going to do, drill number 2. And I got most of these drills, by the way, from OTI Director of Coaching Greg Lasser. That's the main person I learned these from. Now the next one, you're going to take a ball and you're going to press it into your hand, and this one is going to give me the feeling of, again, how the racket is moving around contact. And for this, all I'm going to do, so I'm going to come a little bit closer to show you, I'm going to press the ball into my hand just like this, and my elbow is going to be around shoulder level, and then I'm just going to roll the ball up and down a few times. And by rolling the ball up and down, what is my racket doing? It's moving low to high around contact. That's what we want, it's slightly off axis. And then after doing that a few times, I can actually roll the ball off my hand. And you should see how the ball is rotating, just like what we wanted. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to do these a few times just to feel exactly how my racket is moving. 1, 2, 3. I'm really trying to arc that ball out of my hand. 1, 2, 3. It's very warm today. It's nice, but I actually can't remember if I put sunblock on. Something I'm going to have to do soon. 1, 2, 3. One thing I do like to try and add to this, I've seen other players working on this. When they first start doing it like this, rolling up and down, they come to here and then they stop. As you get better, you want to roll up and down, and then as you go up and through, you want to turn the palm strings out to the right side like this. Okay, let me show you with 1, 2, 3, just like that. Let's do another one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do another 3. As you can see, the key is here. Don't go through the progression levels too quickly. You got to go slowly, so you really get a feeling for each stage. You got to isolate it. 1, 2, 3. I really arced that one up. That was nice. 1, 2, 3. Do one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I feel quite comfortable with that, how the racket is moving. So now the next step, we're going to add a hit into this. Where now I'm actually going to be, isolating it, but actually hitting the ball. And this is where now film is going to become very important. I'm going to do a few repetitions, then I'm going to film it, and we'll see exactly how this looks. Okay, but what this drill is going to look like. I'm going to, again, start completely sideways. So my feet are together, chest is pointing sideways, starting from my racket drop. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to toss the ball up and just swing directly up the back of the ball. Okay, let me just show you one. So yeah. Oh, that was a little bit too far to my left. I still made it work. I'm really trying to feel that I'm brushing up the back of that ball. And you should start to hear, there's two ways you can hit a tennis ball. You may be able to hear it through my microphone. There's one way which is more flat, and there's also another one which is you're gripping it. And what you want to try to tap into here is that gripping sensation. You're catching the ball thin, okay? And that's something which I've always had to work on, and the thing that helps me is keeping my hand and my arm relaxed. As soon as I tighten up, I don't get that feeling anymore. Let's do another couple and then we'll film them. Racket drop. Good. That was very thin. I got to swing up a little bit more. That was nice. And the weird part about this is my racket is going in this direction and the ball is going in that direction. Doesn't make much sense initially when you first do it. I think that's why the kick serve is quite tough. But what I'm now going to do, I'm going to set up my camera. We're going to now film it and we'll see exactly how this is looking. Let me just get this set up. Okay, film. All right, let's see how this looks. And really trying to feel the way that racket is moving around contact, completely sideways. That's good. Let's do one more. And then we'll look at film. Really brushing up the back of that ball. I'm catching those last two a little bit too thin, I think. Could actually get a little bit more penetration through the ball. But anyway, let's take a look at this real quick. You'll also get a view up on screen when I start it. Okay, here we go. So let's just take a look how this is looking. I'm tossing the ball. It's not looking too bad. I like it contact here that I'm trying to exaggerate this, trying to get the racket on the inside of the hand. So then I can really increase that upward angle around contact. And as you can see, I'm not adding the internal shoulder rotation yet. I'm just brushing up the back of the ball, trying to get that feeling. Yeah, it's not too bad. I actually think on that one, the ball toss could have been a little bit further to the left there. It was actually a little bit too far to the right. That becomes quite problematic if it's too far to the right, because the further your racket starts moving low to high and the further it goes out to the right, instead of moving low to high, it moves more to the side, which means you're going to get more slice and not the true kick effect. So let me see the next one. That was a better ball toss placement. You see that one now is more in line with the head. Good contact point, increasing the upward angle, which is nice, keeping the body sideways. Yeah, it's not too bad. What I now want to add though is the internal shoulder rotation after contact. So I want to try to turn the palm and strings out to my right side. Do the same thing, but this time add some internal shoulder rotation. So what I'm going to try to feel is this element here. I'm going to go from the racket drop up and then add this here. And I know it's going to feel weird, but let's give it a try. So racket drop, oh, too far to the left. Yeah, it already feels more weird. It's weird because just by adding that internal shoulder rotation, I can feel I'm not catching the ball as thin anymore. So I've got to really exaggerate up and through, yeah. Up, that was better. Still feels very weird, which is good, I guess. Let's go up. That was nice. Up. Really trying to increase the upward angle. So a couple more. And then I want to film this again, just to see how this one looks. Up. I gotta really exaggerate going up. I'm not used to that element. What I mean by that is I'm really trying to exaggerate this here, the element of really brushing up the back of the ball. Go again. Oh yeah, too far to the left. That's okay. All right, they feel okay. I'm again gonna film it See exactly what I'm doing. Right, I'm gonna try to add that internal shoulder rotation. Oh, yeah. A little bit of a frame, that's fine. Good. Let's do 2 more. Felt good. I think that was good. I'm still trying to go slow right now so I can feel the movement. Let's see exactly how that looks right there. Again, I'll start the recording so we can all look together. Okay, here we go. So that one is better with that element. See, the palm and strings now are turning out to the right side, and the swing is really going out left to right along the baseline, which is nice. I think the ball toss in that one's too far to the right though. Let's see this one. Yeah, there's a little bit of a miss hit. So here, I like the swing is going left to right and following through just like that. That's nice. See another one. I'm going to watch this one in regular speed. Yeah, that actually seemed to have a nice kick also, kick to the right, which is nice. Let me see the swing through contact. Yeah, I like this. I'm really trying to exaggerate the racket on the inside so then I can increase. Lovely follow through. Trying to also really focus on keeping that body completely sideways, and that's working quite well. So I'm satisfied now, that's looking good. So I'm just going to reinforce now, because even now, you know, I'm still going very slowly doing this, and I got to get used to doing this a lot quicker. So I'm just going to go in the same progression level, not do anything different. A little bit of a different view. We'll see, you know, if that, you can see a little bit more. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start from my racket drop again, do 1 or 2 shadow movements, feeling how the racket is moving. Okay, there I didn't catch it thin. Do another shadow movement. Now hit. There I caught it thin, that was nice. Shadow movement. Ball too far to my right, or left I should say. A couple more. Really trying to feel the swinging up the back of the ball. There, I almost felt I came down a little bit there. Got to exaggerate more. There we go. Racket drop. That was good. That was nice also, that kick to the right. Oh, okay. Yeah, to be honest, that's feeling good at this level. So what I'm now going to do, I want to increase the difficulty of the progression level. And instead of now starting from the racket drop, I'm going to build the swing back a little bit to what we call the salute position. And the salute position basically means I'm starting here. Okay, so the racket is just above my head, okay, in this position. And then I toss the ball and I go through the same steps. So you can see I'm slowly building the swing back into the full service swing. But that's the next stage. Again, we've got to start with some shadow movements of this first, because it's going to feel very strange to me now. And as you notice, I'm still inside the court also. I'm not going back to that baseline. Here we go, let's do some shadow movements. So I start here, go up and through. Start here, up and through. I can already feel in the shadow swing. This is going to feel a lot more difficult to achieve. Okay, let's try with the ball. So salute. Yeah, need to catch it more thin. Salute. Ball toss too far to the right. Salute. That was nice. That was also good. Let's do another couple of shadow swings. That's nice. Oh, I'm not sure also, by the way. This is what's going through my head right now. I know a lot of you Let me know what you're working on in the comments below. Are you working on serve, forehand, backhand? Let me know specifically what you're working on. But what I will say is, I don't think there's any better feeling when you're out in the sun like this, and it's obviously silent right now, it's very peaceful, and you're just, you know, plugging away, working on something. I used to love it when I was younger, when I was working on my strokes by myself. Something so satisfying about it. Oh, that was nice. Also, let me know, comment below where you're currently watching from. You may also be working on the kick serve right now. You'll all let me know. Oh, that ball toss was too far to my right, I think. Yeah, that was nice. Really got to exaggerate the upward swing. What I'm now going to do again is film it, because I'm always cautious what I'm reinforcing. Everyone also watching, you should be the same way. Be very cautious of what you do, because you may be reinforcing bad habits. It's better to know exactly what you're doing, and that's why the film is so beneficial. Let's take a look at it again. I'm going to feel it in my arm after this. I know I am, because I'm not used to these movements, so my arm is going to ache after this. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. Good. The sun is right in the eyes there, so it's making it a little bit more challenging, but no excuses. Oh, I think that was good. Can't really... This is the problem also. What you feel to what you're actually doing are different things. So you really got to see exactly what's going on. Let me take a look at this one now. Let's take a look together. Again, we'll start the recording. Let's have a look here. So this is now from the isolated salute position, as we call it. Let's watch in regular speed. Yeah, ball flight actually looks quite nice. Yeah, it's looking lovely actually. That was a lovely kick. Wow, look at that one. Got Ben Shelton would be, jealous of that one. But I'm not serving from the baseline though, and I'm also not serving at 150 miles an hour. Swing-wise though, I like this. Good starting point. Racket drop, and really trying to exaggerate this element here, the left to right swing. Good internal shoulder rotation. Turning the palm strings out to the right side. Still looks and feels mechanical right now, I think, but that's normal. Yeah, I'd rather it look and feel mechanical at this stage at least, because I don't want to... The main priority for me is getting the technique right, and that's the same also if you're working on your technique. Just make sure that the technique is working just like what you want it. It doesn't really matter what's happening with ball flight or also how it feels. The main priority is getting the technique working. And I know a lot of you watching right now, you may be thinking to yourself, oh yeah, it's easier for you to do, James, because you know what you're looking for. And yes, I do, obviously, because I understand the theory of the kick serve very well, so I know what I'm looking for in the video. So if you are one of those players where you may be asking, how do I know what I'm looking for when I look at my video? There's a few things you can do. The first thing you can do is get a pro video, or whatever video of a good kick serve, for example, and then you can compare it. You can see, okay, what am I doing compared to what they are doing? That's a very simple way you can do it. Another way you can do it, you can send a video of your stroke to us, and for $10 we'll review it, and we'll tell you exactly what you're doing and what you need to fix, just like what I'm doing in the video analysis. And that way then you don't need to waste time trying to identify it yourself. You can just get one of us to do it. And if you're interested in something like that, what you can do is go beneath the video and there's a link there, and you can get your stroke reviewed for $10. But now what we're going to do, I'm going to collect the balls up because we're quite low on balls. We're going to come back, we're going to do the same thing, but then try to increase the difficulty a little bit more. So the dreaded part of collecting the balls every time is done. I should bring one of the ball collectors with me. I got one of the baskets, so it just makes it easier, but I'm young, so I can, I shouldn't complain. Should just get on with it. But anyway, now what we're going to do, so we did the last one starting from the salute position. I felt quite comfortable with that actually towards the end. So what I'm going to do now is try to add in some where I actually start from what we call the half serve position. And what that means is I go from this position and I just bring the arm down a little bit more here. So in the half serve position, the tip of my racket is pointing slightly down to the right side fence. and the elbow is just below shoulder level, just like this. And then I go through all the same steps. And again, look at what's happened here. I've done everything within what we call the half court position. So I haven't gone nowhere near the baseline at this stage. I'm just isolating everything and going step by step. So let's just do a shadow movement, or 1 or 2 shadow movements of this now. That feels good. Toss. I got to feel also, this is one part I struggle with, is when I do it from the half serve position, I come around too much and I go more on a first serve basis, more on a straight line. I got to really feel I'm moving more left to right along the baseline for this. It's going to feel weird. Okay, let's try one. Yeah, there's a frame. I don't mind that though. All I care about is how the technique looks. Another frame. And again. That was better. As you can see, it happens. Framing the ball, mishitting it, it's all part of the process. I don't really worry about that too much. All I worry about is, again, the technique. Oh, oh wow, that kicked up nice. And again. Yeah, that was a nice one also. Yeah, they're all kicking up nicely. Quite happy with those. I still want to exaggerate though. This is for some of you watching. If you're struggling in general with, technique or making technique changes, one thing you can do is, we always say exaggerate the correction, but what does that actually mean? Because it resonates with people, they understand it, but then when they try to do it, it doesn't really go into effect. So what you can do instead is use what we call the crazy correction technique. And what that means is the correction has got to feel so crazy to you that it feels weird. For example, let's imagine that you have a player that's taken the racket too far back on the forehand. So they have too big of a backswing, essentially. What they got to feel is essentially there's no take back. It's almost like the racket in hand stays on the right side of the body. And obviously we don't want that in the long term, but that's how weird it's got to feel to you in order to make the technical change. Okay, because what you'll find is you'll tell a player then to make it feel like it's here, and in reality they're somewhere there. So they're very close to where we actually want them. So I'm going to feel, for the crazy correction for me, I want to just really exaggerate this brushing and increasing the verticality of my swing around contact. I don't want to hit the ball so flat, I want to catch it thin. And that's where I'm really going to exaggerate here. Oh. And yeah, I already see how that ball is arcing up much more over that net. Oh. Yeah, that was good. Go again. The sun has gone in now, so this makes it a lot easier. Yeah, I do find that I have a tendency to pull my head a little bit too early to look where the ball is going. I also got to keep that head up. Yeah, okay, let's film. Let's see exactly how this is looking. See just 1 or 2 here. Again, going with that crazy correction technique. Yeah. Yep. Nice. One more. Okay, let's see how that looks on film. So the moment of truth, as always. They actually felt nice, so let's see if they were actually any good. Let's take a look here. So now we're starting from the half serve position, so it's a little bit more challenging. Yeah, it's actually not looking too bad. I like that the racket is moving more left to right along the baseline and out like that. I know a lot of you watching, you may be asking yourself, if I'm doing that, if I'm going more left to right, surely that defeats the purpose of trying to get the racket aligned on the right side in the racket drop. So we always talk about that, the racket drop position, you want it aligned to the right side of the body. And the thing to remember is the kick serve, my body is a lot more sideways. So my chest is completely sideways as I'm going up and through, which means if you was to actually look from the back angle, which would be here, my racket is aligned to the right side of my body, okay? It's deceiving because I'm staying a lot more sideways. It looks like the racket is aligned to the left, okay? So just keep that in mind. But let me watch a couple in regular speed. That had some nice kick on it. Yeah, that was also nice. Let me see this one in slow motion. Good right to left, good drop. Nice swing, I like that a lot. Really increasing the upward angle of that swing. Good follow through, just keeping the body sideways. I'm also keeping my head up there, which is nice. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. I'm gonna keep reinforcing those ones since they feel really good. Okay, so the final couple here I'm gonna do is just again from the half serve position. Not doing anything else in this session. And if you wanna see a part 2 of this session, then let us know, because I can show you then how I would build this back towards the baseline. Because I'm going to be doing this anyway. So if you want to see it, let us know in the comments below. But I'm just going to do a couple now from the half serve position still. So there, up and through. There. It's okay. Got to swing up more. Got to increase that upward angle. Going to do a shadow movement of it. There. And again, another shadow movement. There. Now with the ball. The ball was too far to my right. That was better. Oh. It kicked nicely to the right, but I think my head pulled a little bit. So a couple more. Oh, that was nice. My head keeps pulling though. Oh, there you go. I didn't look on that one. Do one more. Oh yeah, that was way too far to the left. It worked though. So there we have it, a little bit of a different style video today, where instead of just doing instructional videos, we're actually showing you some live lessons, and I'm using myself as the case study. So let us know if you did enjoy it, and if you want to see a part 2, let us know. Just remember, do exactly what you see in the video today if you're working on any stroke. Isolate it, break it down, film yourself, and then just slowly build it back up. So that's all I'm going to be doing to learn this kick serve and to master it. These are the steps I'm going to be doing, and then I'm just going to slowly build it back towards the baseline. Okay, so yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give a like, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.